Hello, everybody, and welcome to WBGO Studios. I am Gary Walker, and at 88.3 FM and WBGO.org, we pride ourselves on presenting and sharing this music from the past and the present and the future. And sometimes the past is the present. Such is the case with our special guest here today that we're delighted to speak with. I first came in touch with Betty Bryant's music just a couple of years ago with Lotta Livin'. I especially love the tune. The tunes Put a Lid on It and Chicken Wings, which is a song about a cat that was so poor he could just afford to feed. But got the chicken wings. But here she is with a brand new recording, her 15th recording to date, Nothin Better To Do. And I can't think of anything better to do than to sit here and chat with Betty Bryant today. Welcome to
Ah,
WBGO Studios.
thank you.
You started out, you live on the West Coast now, but you have traveled up and down the West Coast to the Far East, to the Near East, across Europe. A lot of people know about Betty Bryant, but it all started for you in Kansas City. You have to understand something here, folks. Here's a lady who sings and has been playing piano for 90 years. Count them. And it started in Kansas City. And she has a tune on this recording that describes a place where she used to hang out a lot called Mama Sue. And for our listeners, I want her to describe to us the place in Kansas City where she first came in contact with a lot of this music. Talk to us about Mama Sue.
Mama Sue is mostly made up.
Is
There
that
actually
right?
was, yeah. My grandmother actually had a friend that everybody called Mama Sue. And so that's where the name came from. And she could make good barbecue, but she just did it in her yard. And those of us in the neighborhood were privileged to eat some. But I started out because I liked the name and I thought Mama Sue and barbecue, what goes better together? The rhyme is already there.
But
But
it was
then
a real family joint because you had the kids running around, you had people playing checkers and
I know, but all of
dominoes.
that part is made up. I got carried away with describing how to get there and making it into a real story. And so all mostly it's made up, but once I got into, like the old men playing checkers in the shade of a tree and things like that that really do happen, and it became a picture to me, and almost like an adventure. I could visualize all of those things that I wrote about, but they don't exist.
But something that certainly did exist were your early years in Kansas City and coming in contact with the legendary Jay McShann. How did that come about?
Oh yeah,
And what was that in your life, your musical life and personal life for that matter?
I first started emulating Jay McShann when I was about 12, and I found out I could stretch a tenth with my left hand. And Jay used to do it. He used to walk tenths, and I'd stretch my little fingers until I could walk a tenth. And that's from C to E for anybody that doesn't play the piano. And I could walk tenths, and once you can walk tenths, you can play the blues. And I just started from there. But it wasn't until I was around oh mid 20s, close to 30, I guess, when I finally met him, and he was playing at a joint called Johnny's. And I went by there and he just sort of welcomed me into the fold, and I could play the piano, and I was young and I was cute. And Kansas City was segregated, so I couldn't sit in the audience. So he put me on stage, and everything just sort of fell into place. It's like, oh, this is supposed to be. And from then on, he'd let me play a couple of numbers with the band, and I just had fun with it. And there's
Did
that picture that's in the it's a jazz museum in Kansas City now, and it's a picture of me, Jay, and a couple of other fellows from the band at a place called El Nora's, where we used to hang out after the clubs had closed. But at that time, everything was still segregated, so none of this sort of makes sense now without explaining too much. But we had a lot of fun, and I was just lucky. It was like one of those being in the right place at the right time sort of thing.
You sure were. I mean, Kansas City, in the 1930s was jumping, man, really jumping musically. And you had the opportunity to go to a lot of those places and actually be part of those places too.
But I was more in the 50s. Come on now.
Okay. All right.
I was born in 29, so I wasn't doing too much jumping in 1930.
This new recording is called Nothing
Yeah,
Better to Do.
good memories.
Yeah, you betcha. Nothing better to do. And I would imagine that when you go into the studio or when you perform live, there's a sense memory for you, isn't there, about those times in Kansas City? You take them with you no matter where you travel.
That's true. It's true. It's always with me. And I know I play blues a lot, but it's so comfortable and I sort of fall back into that. I spent years playing a single, which is just piano and voice and in little uh, restaurants more than bars, but bar restaurants. So I built up a repertoire from doing that, and I was not doing the blues so much as doing offbeat songs, and I always liked offbeat songs. Um, I never had a real strong voice, and as long as I sing something that nobody else knows, I'm safe. so so I started out singing real, things that nobody else knew the words to,
I tell you,
in
man,
order
the blues we
to
could
be a
use, but also on this new recording, you also get into a Latin or Brazilian feel. There's a tune that I think Astrud Gilberto did a long, long time ago called I Haven't Got Anything Better to Do. I know Carmen McRae also did it. And you do it with a guitar, and it has a really nice laid back
Isn't that
feel.
lovely? I love it. That tune was suggested by my executive producer, Alan Eichler, and he knew it because Patty Page did it, and he he used to manage Patty Page in her early days, and you remember Patty Page like the Tennessee Waltz or something, but this was one of her songs before Astrid Gilberto got it, and he suggested that tune, so that was how I got it because I had never heard of it, but that alternate Thursday thing with the line they've got me. Oh yeah, I have to do that.
Yeah, and then it segues right into another piece that fits just perfectly with that, and that's the tune "Time Was." Miguel Prado, 1930s Mexican film. How did you find that piece of music?
I don't remember how I finally got that piece, but I've been doing it for years, but just as a ballad. And I don't know. One day I was just fiddling around with it, and I got that Latin. It sort of lends itself to that Latin bass line. And then I presented it to Rob like that, and then he started like, you know, he sort of lets me do anything I want to do, and then writes around it. So we don't have anything written down like you could hand a band. Oh, here's the arrangement to this. No, it doesn't work. We don't have any written arrangements except what he would write like after I had done whatever I wanted to do. He'd say, "Okay, we're going to put horns in here, or we'll do this, or we'll do that." But for the basic recording, we just do things my way with the four of us, piano, bass, drums, and Rob playing on
Ooh,
one of his
and,
horns.
and it comes out cool Miss B every time.
Yeah,
And you've got the blues. You got the blues you can use.
right.
A phrase one of my aunts used to use. I can't see for looking.
Yeah,
That's a tune
yeah.
on
That
this
was
record.
I thought King Cole was the only one that did it, but since I recorded it, I what happened? I asked Alexa one day, I said, play I Just Can't See for Looking. And I didn't say artist because I didn't think anybody else had it out. And she played some instrumental arrangement of it that was fantastic. And I have no idea who it was.
Uh,
She, meaning Alexa.
you are featured
But
on this. You are featured on this new recording on both piano and vocals throughout most
yeah,
of the
I like,
recording.
yeah.
But you get a chance for the whole band to really cut loose on a tune that your musical director and saxophonist and flutist Robert Kyle wrote called "All Right Then."
Isn't that nice? I love that. Yeah, Rob came up with that one because it's got sort of a nice uh well, it's just got a nice funky beat and everybody just had fun with it.
Yeah, you could hear it right from the get. Right from the
Yeah,
get, you could hear
yeah,
it.
yeah. We
Just
just
marvelous.
fell into that one. There was, no questions. That's oh yeah, this has got to be what it is.
We're
We
chatting with
don't have
Betty
to question.
Bryant about her new recording, Nothing Better to Do. And this is the first time that she's used the strings on her recording. And there's a Burt Bacharach Hal David tune on this new recording called Winter Warm, which actually wraps up the record. And it's just gorgeous. You were pleased with what you
Oh,
heard?
me?
Yeah,
Oh, pleased with what I heard. Which one?
on Winter Warm.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was more than pleased. I was happy with it the way it was, and we added the strings. That was once again that was Rob's idea. He said this would be. He said I can imagine strings, and then he got in touch with the strings player that he knew personally, and I guess just described what he wanted, and so they filled in from what we already had, and we didn't change anything. They just did a fill, and it just brought another life to the song. Yeah, I was very happy with that.
And to the recording. The new one is just out. Nothing better to do. We're chatting with Betty Bryant. At 96 years young, she's making music for all of us to enjoy and put a smile on our faces and
Oh,
think about the places that we have been to from time to time. And I have to ask, when you encounter someone like Betty Bryant, you ask yourself, good Lord, I wonder who she listens to. Well, who do you listen to?
oh boy. I'm not a good person to ask that question. Okay. One of my very favorite singer slash group is Dick and Kiss Harp. Kiss Harp was a wonderful singer in Texas, and she and her husband opened a club together. And then she died tragically shortly afterwards. But she has this wonderful, warm presentation, and you just feel it oozing out of her, and it was tragic loss. So what they did, they had outtakes from the first album, so they released the second album with just outtakes, and it's not just as good. It's because it's different. But she got tickled on something and she started laughing and couldn't stop, and they recorded her laugh, and that is one of the greatest things ever recorded. She just this warm laugh that just comes up, bubbles up out of her.
And what
And I
is her
think
name
about things.
again? What's her name again?
Kiz Harp,
Kids?
Kiz, and the last name is Harp.
I'm gonna have to look her up from Texas. I spent some time in Texas. I'm not familiar with that name. I'm gonna have to check it
No,
out because in this day and age, we could all use a laugh and a smile
well,
indeed. And
okay,
smiles,
it would be around 60 years ago when it came out, and they had a club called the 90th Floor, and that's something else. Their sense of humor. Okay, so okay, that's one. I like a lot of old stuff. I like King Cole. Rob has recorded a lot. I like his music. I have a friend, Mark Miller. I love his music. He's a singer. Um, I tend to listen to the people that I know as opposed to like experimental listening and looking for something new all the time. If I just have on the radio, then I try to enjoy whatever is on there. I listen to a lot of classical music, not necessarily vocals, but I just enjoy classical. Benjamin Britten,
Jay,
always something sort of out there, you know. Um,
well, you inspire us all. I got to tell you, you are an inspiration
yeah,
to all of
but
us.
I would say anybody from Louis Jordan to Benjamin Britten, there's a that's a big spectrum right there. You can like fill it in.
That's a pretty wide spectrum. I like that. We're chatting with Betty
I like.
Bryant. Brand new recording, Nothing Better to Do. And I can't think of anything better to do than to sit and chat with Betty.
Oh,
You
that's so
busy? Are
sweet.
you busy these days? Are you got gigs and stuff happening?
I I still get gigs and I still do a few things, but I don't work that much anymore. I I tire easily. Um, so when I do gigs, I usually do shorter gigs. I can't do those 4 hour things like I used to do all the time. Nightly 4 hour things. But the Los Angeles Athletic Club, I play down there once a month. I always have a big birthday bash. I have a thing coming up in Ojai at um, Woods, Beatrice Woods. It's a lovely little center up there where they have kind of offbeat things, and it's my kind of thing. It's not. I don't do big venues, and I never have. But that's one thing that I'm sort of doing annually now, and I love that. But that sort of thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
here and there, but really intimate and good fun.
Intimate setting lends itself well to the stories that you tell and the music that you play. We're chatting with Betty Bryant, her 15th recording, Nothing Better to Do. And let me ask you, when you're not playing music, when you're not searching out new songs or practicing, what do you like to do? What do you do in your off time? What are some of the things you like to do?
Oh, I watch a lot of TV, but old TV. I like Perry Mason.
I watch Perry Mason every day. I love
I
Perry
do
Mason.
too. Oh, good. Oh, I like you.
I love Perry Mason.
Yeah, and recently the station that carries Perry Mason has started doing reruns of Carol Burnett. I love that.
I'm telling you, there's a network called Me TV, and if it weren't for Me TV,
Oh, okay.
there wouldn't be no me watching TV because
Wait a minute.
I
I got
love those.
MeTV, but there's also one called FE FE, Family Entertainment TV.
Uh-huh.
And that's the one that's got the new the Carol Burnett thing, and it's got they had Flip Wilson on the other night, and I'm falling apart. but but anyway, I do watch a lot of old TV. I don't much. I don't even know how to do Netflix and all of those things. I don't know how to. I think there's a way to do it on my TV, but I don't know how. I'm not trying to learn. I love to go out to eat. My son takes me out weekly, and we have a lot of fun. He has two children. He has twins. I adore them. So I see them. So like friends. I've got countless friends. So I see a lot of people.
I'll bet those twins love their grandma. I'll bet they
They
love
do.
grandma. You spoil
Yeah,
them?
I don't get a chance to anymore. They're 15 now, so they're getting more independent.
Oh yeah.
When they were little, oh my goodness, yeah. But they stole my heart it took me, I was 80 when they were born. I didn't expect to ever be a grandmother. So I was, I had to spoil them. It was written.
Well, I'll tell you something. You have spoiled all of us with the music that you share. And if you haven't heard A Lot of Living, and there's a whole bunch of records before that one, check that out. Betty Bryant, the brand new recording, Nothing Better to Do. What a treat it is to sit here today on WBGO and chat with you about your life and about this music that you love so much.
Well, thank you. You certainly made this a pleasure, and you're very easy to talk to, thank goodness. Because I thought I was going to be afraid or nervous or something, but I
No,
haven't been.
no. No reason to be nervous. The nervousness should come from me, man. Talking to somebody like you who makes music the way you do at the
Yeah.
age of 96, here's a lady that gives the rest of us something to shoot for. Betty Bryant.